the Oklahoma Men's Basketball Preview Show. Welcome. My name is Sherry James Taylor. I'll be your host. The Sooners have a few games. Only have one game this week when they play Northwestern State in the Lloyd Noble Center. Then they will head for the Battle for Atlantis in Bahamaland. Buddy Hield will show them around off the court, but on the court, there will be 4 teams involved in this. On Oklahoma side of the bracket. I'm sorry. Oklahoma in their own right. UCLA, Butler, and North Carolina. If they can get through that stint and still only have one, maybe the 2 losses, maybe enter with 2 losses, because they lost last week to Creighton, I would be happy as a Sooner fan. Maybe even get that win over UCLA or North Carolina. A couple of teams that went to the deep into the tournament. North Carolina went to the 3rd round. UCLA went to the Sweet 16. We'll break down everything else that went down coming up next in the preview show. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show. The next week will be pretty busy for the Sooners, with just one game Monday, one game this week, and then next week they will also play in the Battle for Atlantis. The one game will come up Saturday. That will be the next home game, and will be the last one for a while. Well, they will play Northwestern State, 12-18 last year, 7-11 through conference play. Lost to Stephen F. Austin in the second round of their conference Southland tournament, 85-75. They are coached by Jay Montgomery, a graduate from Louisiana Tech back in 1977. They're returning players. Number 12, Jalen West. Keep an eye on him. And keep an eye on number 13, also. Jalen West, number 12, averaged 9.4 points per ball game last year, while averaging 2.96, 4 rebounds, 2.96 points per ball game, 4 rebounds per ball game, and 6.4 assists per ball game last year for the Sooners. While Matt, number 13, averaged 2.96 points per ball game last year, 0.09 rebounds per ball game, and 0.3 assists per ball game last year for Northwestern State. Of course, Oklahoma, pretty nice finish, 23-10 last year, 12-6 in Big 12 league play, lost to North Dakota State, 80-75 last year in the second round of the tournament. They're coached by Lon Kruger, a 1974 graduate of the Kansas State Wildcats. Their returning scorers, number 10, Buddy Hield, and number 11, Isaiah Cousins, respectively. Buddy Hield, number 10, averaged 16.5 points per ball game last year, while averaging 4.4 rebounds per ball game and 1.9 assists per ball game last year for the Sooners. While Isaiah Cousins averaged his jersey number, 11 points per ball game, 4.2 rebounds per ball game, and 2.1 assists per ball game last year for the Sooners. As we talked about, the next version of the next few days for the Sooners going to be turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. they'll spend it over in the Bahamas. Buddy, you're my man. You gotta light it up there in the Bahamas for me, alright? You know you can, buddy. Buddy Love. Speaking of Buddy Love, they are one of the 4 teams involved. Oklahoma Sooners, 23-10 last year, 12-6 in Big 12 play. Lost to North Dakota State, 80-75 in the second round of the Big Boy NCAA tournament. And they're coached by Lon Kruger, a Kansas State grad of 1974. Returning scoring leaders, Buddy Love, the aforementioned Buddy Love, number 10, Buddy Hield, and number 11, Isaiah Cousins. Buddy Love, a.k.a. Buddy Hield, averaged 16.5 points per ball game last year, while averaging 4.4 rebounds per ball game and 1.9 assists per ball game last year for the Sooners. While Isaiah Cousins averaged 11 points per ball game, which, by the way, his jersey number 11, 4.2 rebounds per ball game, and 2.1 assists per ball game last year for the Sooners. UCLA is also in on that side of the Oklahoma's half the bracket. UCLA went 28-9 last year, averaging 12-6 in Pac-12 play. Lost to Florida, 68-79 in the Sweet 16, and are coached by Steve Alford. Was a point guard for Indiana in their heyday with Bobby Knight. 1987, to be in fact, is when Alford was there. Alford, his current Hoosiers. UCLA. UCLA's has 2 leading returners. They are number 4, Norman Powell, and number 20, Bryce Alford. We'll start with Norman Powell, number 4. He averaged 11.4 points per ball game last year, while averaging 2.8 rebounds per ball game and 1.7 assists per ball game last year for the Bruins. While Bryce Alford, he averaged 8 points per ball game last year for the Bruins, 1.8 from 3 rebounds and 2.8 on assists per ball game. Next up is the Butler Bulldogs. They are out of the Big East, as is Creighton out of the Big East. 14-17 overall last year. 4-14 in Big East play. Lost to Seton Hall 51-50 in the first round of the championships. And are head coached by Brandon Miller, a graduate of Butler from 2003. The leading scorers for Butler: number 24, Kellen Dunham, and number 31, Kareem Woods. Now, Kellen Durham averaged 16.4 points per ball game last year for the Butler Bulldogs, while averaging 4 rebounds per ball game and 1.7 assists per ball game last year for the Bulldogs. While number 31, Kareem Woods, averaged 7.5 points per ball game, 9 rebounds per ball game, and 2 assists per ball game last year for the Bulldogs. Then, their final test upon the preliminaries will be the University of North Carolina. North Carolina finished 24-10 last year with a 13-5 conference ACC record. They did lose to Iowa State 85-53 in the third round of the NC2As last year. They are coached by Roy Williams, a University of North Carolina guy in his own right from 1969. And leading statistical guys, number 5, Marcus Page, and number 11, Bryce Johnson. First of all, number 5, Marcus Page. Page averaged 17.5 points per ball game last year for the Tar Heels, while averaging 3.2 rebounds per ball game and 4.2 assists per ball game last year for the Carolina Tar Heels. Well, Bryce Johnson averaged 10.3 points per ball game, 6.1 rebounds per ball game, and 0.9 assists per ball game last year for the Tar Heels of North Carolina. That will be the final game of the preliminary round for the BFA Battle for Atlantis. If they get to the championships, we'll do one final preview. If not, we won't worry about it because, to be honest, we don't know who's going to win the other half of the bracket. Thanks for watching. Remember to find me on Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or tweet me at SoonerFanOK. Before I go, I'd like to thank the women's basketball team for coming and checking it out with me, checking out the men's hoops game with me last weekend. That was awesome to see them Sunday night, and so that was cool to get to spend a little bit of time with them. You know how I feel about you guys. I love y'all. Y'all are close to my hearts, and hope y'all win a lot of games this year. Hope y'all win your tournament. Should be fun. On that note, thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, Boomer Sooner, take care, everybody.